What is up guys, Adrian here from Losh TV and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing my personal Halloween Horror Nights Dream Map. Now what do I mean by a Dream Map? Well, sometimes, or well, almost every single year, we speculate what can possibly come to the event. And we're always left wondering, what if the event we thought was going to happen actually happened? And well, today I'm going to give you my personal what if. Like, what if this happens? It will be such a great event, in my opinion. Well, it's my personal Dream Map, so can't really argue there. And I want to know your opinion on it. So, just to break it down to you and give you a little bit of my history with Horror Nights, I've been attending the event for 10 years now. Started back in 2013, HHN 23. I've done 80 houses. I've done a whole lot of ScareZones, can't even remember them all. And I've seen a bunch of shows. So, with that being said, I'm going to give you 10 houses, 5 ScareZones, and 2 shows, maybe even an icon just for fun, about my personal Dream Map. So, with all that being said, let's dive straight into this, starting off with the haunted houses. And as we discuss the haunted houses, I'm going to tell you the location of each house, just so you can get an image more or less of where it's going to be. This first house we're going to have located in Soundstage 21. Meaning it's going to be right next to Despicable Me Mania Mayhem and the Universal Studios store. Right there. This house is going to be called Ultraviolet Comics Chocolate Catastrophe. And you're sitting there and you're wondering, what does that mean? What are you talking about? What is an ultraviolet comic? Well, Ultraviolet Comics has been around with Horror Nights for quite a few years now. They had it back in 2011 for the In-Between, and again in 2015 for Asylum in Wonderland 3D. Both those houses, 3D houses. This one, no 3D. Just the comic aesthetic, and that's it. This is going to be a horror take, or well, a blend of two things. Willy Wonka and Major Sweets. Imagine all the scariness from Major Sweets and the set design from Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Essentially, you and a group of very lucky guests got a chance to visit this amazing chocolate emporium, and you are going to have the time of your life. Or so you think. The more guests enter this very exciting attraction, the less people start to exit this very exciting attraction. So, what happens? Well, along the way, you're going to discover that there are some not so safe ways in this emporium or factory. It's actually a trap. It's a trap! And by that I mean, you're lured in here in order to be sacrificed. Dunzo. You're dead. That's all they're doing here. They're bringing you to this location to kill you off, and the head honcho, the Major Sweet, if you may, is the one that is executing this entire plan. It's his revenge. He's back for more. He wants more blood. He wants more people to suffer the way he did. So, let me know. Would you like to see this? Because I know I would love it. Now going from this, we're going to location B, which will be the Music Plaza stage. And in this location B, we have our event icon. They have their own personal house right here. Located in Soundstage 22, we have Silver Screams 2, which brings us to the return of Julian Browning, or as many people know him, the Usher. And it is going to be almost identical to the original, however with different properties. The only thing staying is going to be the Phantom of the Opera, as this is a key piece, a key moment per se, in the Usher's origin story. Now another key thing that's going to be in this haunted house is going to be the facade. Of course, we need to have the Universal Palace Theater looking as pristine as usual. However, this time around, it is going to be dark and eerie. We are going to have thunderstorms surrounding the area, and as soon as you walk into this haunted house, you will be greeted with Julian pacing back and forth, asking you for your ticket and ushering you to your seat. And of course, I said we're going to have other movies in here as well, and the ones that I choose 2 more. The other ones will be up to you to decide if you would like them. I have Terrifier, and I have The Babadook. 2 horror films that I think can grace a haunted house, but cannot hold a whole haunted house on their own. So I think this is a perfect way to bring them to the event and give a little bit of love to them as well. And of course, similar to how they did in the first Silver Screams house, we are going to have a little Easter egg along with the movie poster of each movie before you walk into said movie. And I think altogether, this can just be a fantastic house. And don't forget about the final scare here. The final scare, you're going to walk back through the screen, enter the normal world, or so you think, as you see tons of ushers pacing back and forth, and you never know which one is going to come after you. And now we move to our next house, which is actually going to be our first intellectual property house. It's going to be located at the entrance to Race to New York starring Jimmy Fallon. We have Hellraiser, House of Cenobites, and this is going to actually be located in Soundstage 23A, which is a shared soundstage, so there's going to be 2 houses running through here. So this house is exactly what you picture it to be. It is the Hellraiser franchise come to life. You are going to see the iconic Pinhead, a ton of Cenobites, and man is this house going to be gory. Blood everywhere, pain every which corner. And well, the facade, well, it's going to be that iconic puzzle box. Just imagine that, you're walking into the puzzle box. I know it sounds a little weird, but follow me on this journey here, because you know, you can't summon them without the box. So Universal Creative decided to play with the box. And well, here we are, entering the world of the Cenobites. And man, let me tell you, they have some opportunity to give you some of the scariest and weirdest creatures you'll possibly ever see in a haunted house. So that's why I have Hellraiser right here at 23A. But now if we bounce over to 23B, which is right in front of the New York Library on the left-hand side, we have Universal Monsters Creature Feature. That's right, be prepared to see Creature from the Black Lagoon, Mole People, and aliens from this island Earth. This house is going to be something of a pipe dream for me. I've always wanted to see Creature from the Black Lagoon featured at the event. Yes, we had him in 29. However, if you count that as like his own house, no. We are just now getting Phantom of the Opera getting his own house, and Hunchback, essentially. And the Invisible Man's finally getting some love. But give Creature the love he deserves. This house will be a perfect homage to him. The facade, you're going to enter through a dark forbidden forest, or like an Amazonian forest, to pay homage to where Creature resides. And be prepared to see 3 different types of terrains as you go through this house. Be prepared to go underground to see what is life with the Mole People. What kind of civilization have they created down there? And don't think you're safe from going up either, because the aliens from this island Earth are back, and they are going to get you if they can. So, all 3 of these together, to me, would honestly be a perfect blend for a monster's house, and putting it in a soundstage allows you to have different types of effects. Underground, you can make it dark and muggy. You can even have sand falling, make the same effect as with Sif in your face and everything. Creature from the Black Lagoon, you can try to go underwater with it, like you were back at HHN 29 with the house, how you were under the orca and everything, which was really cool. And then for this island Earth, just don't get hit with an asteroid. And now let's move to our final soundstage, which is going to have a very big presence here, and that is because it is based on a past attraction here at Universal Orlando Resort. That's right, Poseidon's Fury. But the attraction is not going to be called Poseidon's Fury. I'm going to call it Atlantis, the Lost City. This house is going to be located in Soundstage 25, meaning it has that entire ginormous soundstage all to itself. And the first thing you're going to see as soon as you walk in here is the Temple of Poseidon, all destroyed exactly how it was. Well, it still is standing, but exactly how it was when the attraction was open. You are going to venture into this. You are part of Attraction Discovery Group, and you're going to see and uncover all the secrets of Poseidon's temple. Will you find his trident? Will you find the way? Will Darkanon kill us all in the chamber? Hopefully not, but you're going to walk through it. So there's the chamber and everything that you go through, even the water tunnel. Now, of course, it's not going to be as aggressive with the water, but it's going to be a tunnel that is blue that has water effects as well. So a lot of things that can really tie together and make this house a very solid house. But if they can incorporate the actual water tunnel, I wouldn't be mad at all. And plus, who knows, maybe you'll get a different ending for this house, in which Darkanon wins, and we have to find out what we're supposed to do now, because we thought Poseidon had our back, and I don't know how we're going to get back to the human world if Poseidon didn't help us this time. maybe we're all doomed. And now, while speaking of past attractions, we are going to our Fast and Furious queue, in which kind of is a nod to a past attraction, but it isn't entirely. More of a dedication to a certain person, and that is Alfred Hitchcock, in this house that I'm calling Hitchcock Presents Tales of Terror. The master of suspense is going to bring everything at you. And I mean everything. And the one bad thing, in my opinion, about the Fast and Furious houses is that we can't really have facades. But this does allow us for a perfect little play on what I said with a prior attraction. You can honestly project things that were used in the art of making movies right there into like the facade. And every so often you can just have Hitchcock walk into frame and be like, you know what I mean? You can even show some highlights from some of the movies that are going to be in here, which I think will be perfect to feature not so well utilized properties. You can use Vertigo, you can use Rear Window, of course you're going to use Psycho, but personally, I would love to see something from The Birds. Now, if you guys remember from Scarecrow in 27, there was a bird scene. It was kind of scary, but there was no scare actors in there. This time, give me birds as puppets. Just send them in. Just send them in from every direction. It'll be perfect. But I think this altogether would encompass into a very good house, and I think it will really much please Alfred Hitchcock's ghost. And now we will move away from Fast and Furious and go to the Sprung10 houses, in which one of them is an IP and one of them is an original. But of course we're going to talk about Tent 1 first, and this is going to be none other than Candyman, Echoes of the Mirror. This house is going to be a dedication to the original film and the 2020 remake / sequel. Put them together and you probably have a perfect haunted house. Kind of picture the facade as a giant painting of Candyman's face, and the entrance is his mouth, so you walk through his mouth and enter the lair of Candyman. You're going around and seeing different things that have occurred in the film. Different murders, different kills. You go through the art exhibit from the latest film. And honestly, the highlight, the main reason I wanted to put this house here is, well, you can't have Candyman without mirrors. And at Horror Nights, we can give you a lot of mirrors. So we're going to have a whole room that is dedicated to a mirror maze. Now, of course, it's not going to be an actual maze, but the walking path shall be a maze. And you're going to hear someone above you say Candyman 5 times. By the time you get to that one and last count, a ton of Candymen coming after you. You're going to just hear the screams of people getting annihilated by Candyman. And honestly, this is something that's needed to happen for a very long time when it comes down to Horror Nights, and I can't wait for it. One day it will happen and I'll be happy. So that's from Tent 1. Now as for Tent 2, we have a returning ScareZone, but as a haunted house now, which Horror Nights has been doing this thing of bringing things from the past and reutilizing them multiple times. So now we have Invasion, the ScareZone from 27, back as a haunted house. And the facade will be very reminiscent to you. If you did experience the ScareZone, you're going to see the crashed spaceship. And there will be a guy outside from the army with a walkie telling Sergeant, "We're doomed, dude! There's nothing we can do!" And he's going to be interacting with everyone in the queue line as well, kind of similar to what they did in The Purge in 25, where they had the heckler out front talking to the guests. Kind of trying to warn you that there's aliens, but no one's believing you. But you see the UFO. You know what I mean? So it's like, we know there's aliens, dude. We want to see them. The facade itself, aside from that, is a newspaper stand with the news articles that state, "Aliens exist!" Exclamation point. And well, be prepared for all the fun and goofiness, because this is going to be your fun house that you are going to experience here. Imagine Killer Clowns from Outer Space turned up to 11 when it comes to fun. But don't let that confuse you, as there will be some very good scares and unique scares as you see different types of aliens coming after you. But they're trying to abduct everyone to please their queen, which you're going to see at the end of the house. So now going away from the 10 houses, we're going to go to the parade buildings, and I'm going to tell you, this is the newer of the 2 parade buildings, so the one that held the weekend last year. Got it? Good. This is going to be something that was ripped from us. We had it, and it was gone. And it's funny because I just mentioned something about it, the replacement in the last one. So, Scream. I think that's all I need to say about this one, but don't worry, I'm going to go into detail. This is going to be the entire franchise in this parade building, and we know that they can build some pretty nice sets in here because we've seen them over the past few years. I mean, look at Universal Monsters last year. Amazing sets, you would think you're actually there in Egypt. But anyways, I digress. Back to this. Just imagine being transported to Woodsboro. The facade is the Becker house, and the first thing you're going to see is the Casey Becker kill. Dog. Crazy, right? Keep going through the house, you're going to witness a nightmare alley or a slasher alley of every kill Ghostface has done throughout every single film. And just to wrap it all up in a nice finale that will leave you with a question mark as well, we go into the Ghostface Shrine that is in New York. Now, you don't know what Ghostface is here. You don't know who the killer is now. You're trying to figure it out because there's a ton of Ghostfaces standing along both sides as you walk straight to the exit. Any one of them can come off that pedestal and come and scare you. I'm just saying, this is a property that's needed to happen and needed to come to Horror Nights for years. We almost had it in 2015, but it got purged. Anyways, this will be a perfect thing to put into a parade building. And now our 10th and final house. This is going to be so simple. The other parade building, the older parade building, a IP, The Conjuring. It's very simple to talk about it. The whole universe. Not just the first movie. Everything. Annabelle, The Nun. You could throw La Llorona in there if you want to, but all of it blended together to create this dark universe. Now, how do you see this house when you walk in? The facade from the outside, very simple. It's a movie poster. I know, sounds cheap, sounds stupid, but there's a reason. Because as soon as you walk in, you're walking into Ed and Lorraine's artifact room. So you're going to see all of the different hauntings that are going to be in this haunted house. And let's just say that kind of turns into another key, because at the end of the house, you're going to see some of those artifacts are now missing. And you're going to wonder, why are they missing? Where could they be? Well, final scare. And that's pretty much all 10 of my haunted houses. Now, I know some of them are going to other events, and some of them might never happen at all. But, like I said, this is my dream houses. Now let's get on to the scare zones, because they're kind of exciting too. Now hear me out. In the front scare zone, the front area of the park, it is going to be Welcome to HORRORwood. This is going to be your table of contents scare zone. You're going to be welcomed by the usher into his park, his domain for the year. Welcome in as you see a ton of different creatures and monsters that are going to be featured along the entire park, with a few twists and surprises along in here as well. Listen closely to the music, as you might even recognize some of it just based on the name of this scare zone. That's right, Ice Nine Kills will be playing the music for this scare zone as well. Nice little nod to people that have been killing it in the horror game. And now moving from the front of the park to New York, don't get mad at me before I say this. This is my dream list, not yours. The Horrors of Blumhouse Unleashed. I said what I said. Blumhouse has been locked in a haunted house since 2017. Yes, we've gotten the Purge. Yes, it's been in Altars of Horror. But imagine an entire scare zone dedicated just to Blumhouse. The amount of characters you can utilize here. This is where you can see Megan. This is where you can see Michael Myers. This is where you can see Reagan, or not Reagan, but like the two new girls from The Exorcist. So many characters. Bagul can come back. It'll be a nice blend of everyone together. And it'll just be nice and spooky. And now as we move to San Francisco, be prepared to go back into Slaughter Cinema. No, you're not going to get Slaughter Cinema as a street, but you're going to get one of the houses / movies that were there in Devil Dogs, Out for a Bite. Now this is honestly a scare zone that I would love to see, and it was on the speculation map for this year's event, and it never happened. So just imagine you're out here, and you just hear... I don't make good car sound effects or motorcycle sound effects, but the biker gang of werewolves has left the bar, and they are out for a bite, like the title for the scare zone says. Anyways, this scare zone has the potential. We have not had a werewolf scare zone in probably ever. Now that I think about it, let me know down below if we've ever had just a standalone werewolf scare zone. Not like combination with other monsters or creatures. Just werewolf, because I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't think so. But anyways, Devil Dogs out for a bite. And now we're going to move back to Central Park, in which we can have the return of one of my favorite scare zones. No, it's not Trick or Treat. I know he's right there, but no. I have held my heart against putting Sam here. Bayou of Blood. Rebirth. Welcome back. The Voodoo Queen is here and she is ready to go ahead and wreak havoc all around the Bayou. Be prepared to see sacrifices. Be prepared to see all new creatures, all new things being summoned by the Voodoo Queen. It is going to be glorious and it is going to be fantastic. And then finally, our fifth scare zone over in Hollywood, we have Holidays in Hell. Yes, you know that one. The one that they had in Hollywood as a house. Yeah, scare zone. Like I said, with Devil Dogs, this one kind of sparked up on me what Krampus was rumored to be a haunted house this year. Imagine seeing the different holidays portrayed throughout the entire street. It'll be something similar to like Lights, Camera, Action or Seven, in which there's podiums for each holiday with minions around it. I think it would work so well, and honestly, it can go from Christmas to Halloween. You can even throw HR Blood and Guts in here just for fun if you really wanted to. But hey, I'm not going to stop you from doing that. That's just my concept. And now leaving the scare zones and going to the shows, we have two of them. The first one is something that is kind of original, but kind of different. So it's going to be a stage setup near the lagoon. And it's going to be called Tales from Carey. It's going to be scary stories from Terry. It's just going to be a group of kids getting together and telling stories by the fire. But this is where it gets intriguing. It is going to be a drone-based show as well. So there's going to be pyrotechnics and drones. The drones are going to show you the horrors that are hidden beneath the stories that they're telling. They're telling stories, but the drones are telling a deeper story of more horror. So, very intriguing, very different. Not sure how this would work, but I think it could be really nice. We'll find out. And then the final show, again, it pained me not to put Bill and Ted here. This is going to go up in Fear Factor Live stage show. It is going to be Halloween Nightmare Fuel, Quiet on the Set. See what I did there? It's like, because Usher, shh, you know? So it's basically a different telling of the Nightmare Fuel show. It's going to be, they're going to a movie, and people are just not cooperating. It's going to get fiery, it's going to get pyrotechnic-y, it's going to have a whole lot of aerodynamics, and honestly, it's going to be a blast, literally. So that's it. That's my dream map. That is everything that I would love to see, and here it is for you on the screen too, in map form, just so you guys can put it together in your head. What do you think of it? Comment down below, subscribe if you guys already haven't done so, and stay excellent, my dudes.